Meeting of the York City Historical Architectural Review Board. My name's Craig Zumbrin. I have the opportunity to be chair. We'll do a call of order. Mr. Kunkel.
Here.
Mr. Skian is absent. Mr. Buffington is absent. Mr. Schurmeyer.
Here.
Ms. McLean Gross is absent. Ms. Hitzel. Here. Mr. Gifford.
Here.
So could I have a motion to consider approval of the previous meeting minutes?
I'll move that we approve the previous meeting minutes.
Have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mark?
Dennis. Yep.
Okay. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposing or abstaining? Hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously. We have a number of cases tonight. First one is 111 East Market Street. It had been previously tabled. It's to repair damaged windows, paint and repoint front row bricks. Someone here from that property? 111 East Market Street.
Believe, because I counted 6 of the 7, so I do believe that's the only one that is not here.
The applicant is Lily Tran. Do they understand that they have an obligation to attend? Okay. Motion to table.
I'll move that we table the application for 111 East Market Street due to no show.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved. Next case is 460, 462 West Philadelphia Street. Is someone here for that property? Okay, you want to just come forward and talk us through the property?
Hello. Excuse me. All right, so I was scheduled to come to the meeting. This is like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I came into the office. I came into the city, and I was looking for Miss Charlie. They said that she was out for the week, and there was another lady that was in there. And I asked her. I said, "You wouldn't happen to know when was the HARB meeting?" She was like, "That was yesterday." So part of my absence for missing that, but I had good intentions. All right.
It was actually, I think, sent to the wrong email address.
Yeah.
So we here now, and I would like to approach and got some. Can I approach and give you these pictures? Hey, you got these right here too. No. I don't think you had those right there.
These are pictures of the window. No, those are that we built. Those are the frames that we built, as well as the window frames that we tend to replace the windows with now currently. Well, you see the doors that we intend to use on the front, as well as, like I said, the frames, the windows, the hardy boards that we plan to use on the front, as well as on the sides.
Party boys is tan. What's the color? Selling right at Lowe's.
We've already had our pre-construction meet with Steve Buffington as well. We do have an engineer, so we've had all our drawings, plans, things like that in for a while. We're just now approaching the historic board.
So the two fronts will be all hardy plank,
That's correct.
and the sides,
That's correct.
should we use hardy plank?
Yeah, well, we have our carpenter. Yeah,
There's a learning curve.
absolutely. I mean, as you can tell by the windows, you can see we have experience carpenter. Pressure treated from scratch.
And the, Oriole window, 462, that's gonna look the same?
That's correct. Whatever it is, we plan, as we tend to just, replace it to its original form.
Okay.
So the size of the windows or the new windows are matching the originals, right? Some of that opening I thought had been, they were changed and then it looked like from some of the earlier photos that we had seen, they were, the shape of them were changed, but then they were ported over. So we couldn't tell exactly what you were doing there.
At that time, I believe they had started, they put the incorrect windows in, and that's when Steve Buffington, we spoke to him.
Okay.
You have to go in front of HARB, those aren't going to be acceptable.
Okay.
He said, okay, we're going to go to the original form, brought in the carpenter, had him redesign, and like I said, make them back to the original form, that he replicated what was already there, which is
Okay.
what I showed you.
Okay.
How bad are those, how bad's 462 inside? Pretty bad? Its roof was failed, right? I mean,
I don't believe it collapsed. I mean, there was a lot of water damage and things that came through, but no, it hadn't failed, because it's still up.
Okay. I've been looking at it for 10 years now. Well, longer.
So these windows are they're a composite or they're an all wood, they look like they're an all wood window you're putting in.
That's correct.
Okay. So then all wood windows, so most of them are all 1/1, like one pane over one pane. Except at 462, there's two on the second floor that are two panes over two panes.
Okay.
So you're gonna keep all that the same, okay.
Correct.
Okay. And then the hardy siding is, what's the width of the boards on it?
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know, I don't see a cut of that, but, okay.
There's a picture that we had that we are the use.
There's a picture that just says Hardy, but it's hard to tell what
Oh, okay.
We had one.
what the dimensions are.
Okay.
It's just a single picture.
And then the doors are both gonna match, this picture you have in here of,
Are you using the same, or you want to use one on one side?
kind of, that's what your doors for both of them is gonna be.
I had two pictures, and like I said, pending your approval, if you could use one on one and one on the other. If not, if you say, hey,
Okay.
this one, we can use both of those on.
Okay, because I only really see this one for door. Oh, that's the other door, I can't,
That's the Hardy.
oh, that's the hardy, okay.
Here's one door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think what we'd want to see is,
Okay, no problem. We have no problem going with those.
yeah, because this one has the, kind of this leaded glass look there, which these houses wouldn't have had, so. Yeah, this is what I think,
So yeah, in the door sample, you have three windows.
I mean, that's not entirely what the original style would have been, but I think it's sufficient, would be fine. They're probably just a simple 4-panel door on these houses.
How many doors are you replacing? Just the one main entrance door?
That's correct.
Yeah.
There's a single door in each one.
On both houses,
That's correct.
okay. What about roofing material? Are you doing anything with that, or is that just staying what it is?
It'll be shingles,
Okay.
remove and replace.
Do you have a submission for the type of shingle? Are you using like a timberline architectural shingle or equivalent, or have you picked that out yet?
I mean, we haven't picked out,
Okay.
colors, but I mean, yes, it would be a timberline equivalent architect.
Okay, yeah, because you'll have to get that approved either by us or through a staff review
Okay,
when you do that. Then the color, we'd want to look at that, probably a gray or something like that would work.
When you guys are ready to do that, just submit another HARB application, because you're gonna have to get a permit to do that anyway, to replace the roof. So just submit another HARB application, and then we'll let you know. Process will be the same.
What about the front porch and front stoop? You're just going to keep them and repair them?
that's correct. They're pretty
Okay.
much concrete and stone. so
Yeah,
not much we can
okay.
do with that at that point.
You think of anything else, Dennis, you want to ask? Okay.
Yeah,
Because you live on the block, so I just was wondering if you had any other comments, questions.
Can I ask one question, Nancy? I know a while ago we had a pre-construction meeting with Steve, and like I said, since this whole project is kind of engineered through Klopman Architects, like I thought that we had like a kind of like overall meeting that we were able to apply for a one permit, because that's kind of what Buffington requested, that we apply for a permit at one time, since we already kind of knew what we were doing. So is this something we're gonna have to keep coming back? Because I mean, we know what roof we're doing.
Did you apply for the permit to replace the roof already?
We did. It was in our, like I said, in that bulk drawings that we got from Klopman Architects, because he designed the whole job.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we can, oh, go ahead, Craig.
Well, I was just gonna suggest, if you could agree to use either a timberline type of shingle
Yes.
Equivalent.
or equivalent.
There's other
and-
brands out there that look similar. yeah.
And to use a color in the gray category, I think we could say that you stipulated to modify your application to that point. We'll just put it in the notes.
Absolutely, we do agree to that.
And you
Yeah.
could just do a single
I
application.
appreciate that.
No more fires in the backyard?
No more. That wasn't me per se, but absolutely, there'll be no more, I can assure you.
Because that bathtub has value.
It does, to some.
There's people who restore those and get $600 for them.
They do say one man's trash is another man's gold, you know.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the application as presented, noting that, not sure what we're noting.
The architectural shingles, timberline or equivalent, gray.
Gray color. All windows will be replaced with new wood windows in the same size and pane configuration as existing, which means most of them are 1/1, except at 462, there's two second floor windows that are 2/2. And the front door, the siding will be hardy plank as presented. And the door will be,
Door is wood with 3 windows.
yeah, I can't see the front doors will be, I guess I passed that. Oh, you have it.
We passed it down. It's wooden door with.
3 lights above what,
lights.
2 panels? Wooden door, 3 lights above 2 panels. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's really kind of a craftsman style door, but that's okay. I think it,
Okay, we have a motion. Would someone like to second the motion?
Oh, okay. Since I kind of filled it in, I was gonna second, but that's all right.
Mark made the motion, Blake seconded.
Actually, I think Dennis kind of made the motion.
Dennis made the motion, Mark enhanced the motion.
I had
It's a team effort here.
I had other comments, additional, when you asked for it, yeah.
Okay.
So just to note that these will go in front of, they will go to council, not next Tuesday's meeting, because tomorrow's a holiday here. So it'll be the following, so that's the first of the month. So it'll be the 3rd Tuesday of the month that they will be on the agenda for city council. You can show up if you want. If they had any questions, they usually put it on the consent agenda, the HARB ones, so.
Now, your wood, one quick question before we vote. Your wood soffit, and your fascia board, all that stuff is gonna be repaired as is. You're not gonna wrap it or anything, correct? Because we don't want you to wrap it, okay. You can add that to the motion that the wood soffit freeze board will be repaired as is. And jigsaw detailing on the 462 building will remain. That's the little, lack of a better term, that kind of Victorian detail stuff.
And I will email you those resolutions when they're done. I mean, well, no, I'm sorry. Charlie will get them to attach them to your permit application, okay?
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved unanimously. Thank you. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case is 25 North Court Street. Place the stone ballast from a 20 by 100 foot square area off. Remove existing insulation and roof membrane. Loosen lay 1-inch layer of isocyanate roof insulation. Loose lay 600th EPDM membrane over the insulation. Install 1 layer of 4 by 5 ounce geo textile fabric as protection and replace stone ballast. Remove existing terracotta coping. Attached wood blocking.
If I'm recalling, the only reason we wanted to see this one was the replacing of the coping.
I think that's correct, yeah.
Some people had some questions on that, I guess.
If I could say before these guys leave, I know those buildings pretty well because I don't know if you remember, guys, I sold this to you, but that's a big undertaking. So I just want to shout out because those are really difficult buildings to renovate. So doing it right. Yeah, when I saw the addresses, I was like, I know. When you guys said they weren't that bad, I thought, I don't know. They were pretty rough. So yes, we're unfortunately gonna have to remove the terracotta coping, and we're just gonna wrap over like a rubber roof style. But
So it'll be a pre-finished, you're proposing to replace it with a pre-finished metal, aluminum coping.
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it lap, like components of the
See that?
itself? Yeah, like I have the picture itself. I'm just seeing this sort of seams or layers. Is it something that can be like disassembled and sort of preserved as
The
it's being
coping?
removed? The coping itself. Yeah.
We will save it and reuse it in other buildings if we can. York Roofing is our contractor, and they know to do that for us. We have a small stockpile of
Okay.
terracotta.
Yeah, I think it's a back alley building. I mean, I guess it has some integrity in its own right, but I don't know that I have an issue with replacing that coping. I don't know how the rest of the board feels about it.
Was this before us before?
There might have been something with it years ago, but I'm not sure. There were buildings in that alley.
There were
but-
similar buildings and some of them were demolished.
Yeah,
That was about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. There was a project not with Royal Square, but someone else.
It's gonna be an event space?
oh, that was the other side, I think, of Philip. Yeah,
Between Duke and Queen.
yeah. It's a similar back alley building, but you're right. And I think it's painted black or gray also, like this one now.
Yeah, I agree that while I like that terracotta, I think the nature of this building is such that, and its location is such that it's not going to draw a lot of attention to the fact that it's not there.
Well, to do the new membrane roof, you'd have to pull it off anyway and take the roof up and under it and then put it back, so,
It's not as character defining as the awning, for example.
yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly. And it is a back alley building, so I don't know that I have an issue with it.
What's the stone ballast do?
Keeps the rubber down.
So you're actually gonna ballast the roof?
We're going to reballast it. We're going to move all the stones from one side to the other, and then replace the rubber on one side, and then bring all the stones back and replace the other side. And when I asked, because we had multiple quotes and multiple options, to remove would be more expensive.
Okay.
To suck all that stone off. And I went back and forth with a couple different people, and York Roofing said, Dylan, we installed that in 1977, and you don't have any leaks. Are you sure you want to go with the other version? And I'm like, you're right. Let's stay with the ballast roof system. It's already pitched in the center, so the water comes off. You don't have the holes.
Okay.
I would never do this, but since it's here.
Yeah, everybody usually scraps the ballasted thing,
Yep.
but sure. I mean, and you don't see it anyway, so It's really not, we really can't comment on that. We can comment on the coping, but we can't comment on the roof because you don't see it. So whatever he does behind that coping, yeah, that's not our. So, I'll move that we approve the application as presented. And that the coping, while character defining, it's a back alley building, and the coping has to come off to replace the roof anyway. And so it's really a little consequence to kind of replace it with a modern pre-finished aluminum coping.
Extend the life of the building overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion. Would anyone like to second the motion?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any question or comment on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And no one opposed or abstained, so we have another unanimous approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
What I miss are the little historical notes of the history of the building, when it was built,
Yeah, I mean,
and all that stuff.
till it's sometime we can get a consultant again. And actually, you know, Historic York used to have all that stuff in their files, and I don't know if anybody has access to their files anymore.
Okay, the next case is 32 West Maple Street. Brick facade in front of the house is deteriorating, doing some brickwork. I was gonna read the rest of this, but I think you could tell us about it better.
So you have a structural engineering recommendation to add ties in, right, and keep the brick facade, okay.
Pretty simple, straightforward, just 4 pins. The contractor, Washington and Dowling, has actually proposed to, we're gonna do the second floor like that. Maybe if you're okay with it, do the same pattern on the first floor. And just add that much more security, but
Yeah, and that's a historically appropriate solution for doing, you know, tying the brick
So what-
facades to their
what is-
structure.
What does that mean? Pinning. It says
Have you seen the details he
it's not the
showed?
earthquake bolts.
No, it's a thing you see on a lot of historic buildings and houses where the brick is tied to the structure behind it. And it has
Plate on the
those
outside.
medallions of stars or squares or circles or,
Earthquake bolts.
I don't know that they're seismic. They might help in a seismic thing, but I don't know.
There's a second-hand lateral bracing.
I don't,
Just keep it up.
it's unreinforced masonry. I don't think if we had an earthquake, it's gonna keep, yeah.
So it goes in
Yeah.
and ties to this joist.
Yeah, it ties to the joist behind, which is the problem, the facade was never tied to anything behind it. And over time, it's, yeah, the roof pressing on it is boated out and it'll eventually collapse into the street in some time, yeah. If this isn't done, yeah. And I don't care whichever style you use, I don't care, you know, I have no, you know, I think it's fine whether you use the stars or the circles or medallions or whatever they have. I'll move that we approve the application as presented.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any other, like? Great. Well, I'm glad that you have a solution that's gonna preserve the look, the street face look, and hopefully work for you to keep the bricks in place. Washington Dowling's been around the block. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
times, and actually more cost effective than what I came with here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll save you money over trying to take the whole thing down and shorten everything up and then rebuilding it, yeah.
Do you have a preference on whether or not the plate is painted?
I don't, no, I would think you'd maybe want to paint them, but if they're pre-finished and you don't have to paint them, I don't. Yeah, I assume they're like a dark color or something like that, right?
Really, I don't know. We didn't
Yeah.
buy it yet, but,
But yeah, it's, I think, they're metal, so whatever.
okay. And we'll also clean up the fascia while we're there, not replacing it or covering anything, we're just,
Just cleaning up what's there, then that's appropriate, that's good. Good.
Thank you. Pardon me? No, we didn't vote yet.
Didn't vote yet.
I was trying to get my notes down while a cross dialogue was going on. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion to essentially approve the application as presented to pin the building together, say aye.
Aye.
And it's approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is 327 East Market Street, existing water damage to trim and paint, windows sashes, the oil needs to be replaced, scrape paint repair, the entire Oriole window, scrape repair, repaint, front door, door frame, shutters, block lintels, bracketed cornice, repair and replace where needed, the gutters and the downspouts.
Okay, I do have something to add to this because our permits, admin, she stated that, the HARB application only has, for the paint and the windows. However, though, the tenant occupied property inspection report, its side balcony has damaged posts that need to be, I guess, repaired or replaced, and they are visible from the street. So that needed to be added to the, here is a picture, if you guys want to look at it.
Yeah, you can catch the side of it.
It's sort of stuck in that side alley, right?
So I actually just want to clarify because there's two sets of balconies. There's balconies in the front which are visible from the street, but the back balconies are not. That post is on the back balcony.
Oh, okay.
It's not visible from the street.
Yeah, she included this, I don't know which one, I mean,
But either way, our contractor is here. We have that in our contract to repair the
Okay.
back balconies back to structural integrity.
Yeah.
It's something that we had hoped to do. Sure. Oh, it's not the front balcony. There is an alley, but the thing is, there's a carriage house, so you actually can't see it. So you actually can't see that back balcony. The property is like very. Okay, sorry. Yeah, not a problem.
So basically, you're just doing your best to scrape, paint, patch, repair all the damaged areas
Yeah, I mean,
without any intention for structural changes or
correct.
no new material, unless you would have to remove something that's slightly damaged but need to replace it in kind.
Correct.
Yes, great. That's exactly what we like to hear.
Sure. Yeah, and then because they're on the Oriole, there are also like stained glass.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a very handsome.
yeah.
Yeah, it just took us a while to actually find a contractor and get people in place to kind of be able to do it without like an astronomical fee. Like we've been looking for like a couple of years actually.
Yeah, okay.
What is the material that we have referenced in the past when there's slight?
Yeah, there are consolidation systems out there that allow you to repair rotted wood. And some contractors have worked with it before. One is Arbitron, which I think is available online, and another one is, as I understand, the West system, which, when Gary Geisman was on the board, he used to say that Myers used to carry that, but that allows you to kind of, it's like the car Bondo body stuff, but it's made for wood, yeah. And basically, it's like a plasticizer that like petrifies the rotted areas, the damaged areas of the wood, and then there's the Bondo stuff that you fill in and sand it, and you can like restore that stuff. Yeah. You know,
So
rather
I'm
than-
hoping to get it, to as close as to its original.
Okay,
And wherever it's, not, we would find replacement
yep,
or have it at least fabricated to be as close as possible.
yep. Yeah, we just don't want to see, needlessly historic detail and features removed or things wrapped with metal and that kind of thing. So, yeah, but you're not proposing to do that, so we should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the glass is broken.
The glass is not broken. The frame, that wooden frame on the semicircle in the center had just, it dropped down a little bit.
It's a
Okay.
square window behind the arch top.
Yeah.
No, so the semicircle, yeah.
Actually, the window is. Can I call Guy up? He's actually,
Sure.
that's what he does. That's glass.
So the glass itself is curved, which adds a whole set of dimensional problems to that. But it sank at the same time. So what we're proposing to do is take them down, move them right next door to my building, and repair them as they sit, as they come off. So even the structure on the outside is going to be repaired after we
Well,
redo the window.
I'm talking about the leaded glass above it.
Yeah,
On the left side.
it's all loose.
There's a piece that's missing. Well, no, it's-
We have the glasses. The glass is all there. It's just the framing
It like,
itself, the
it's
lead
starting to
itself.
sink outward.
Okay.
So if you take a piece of paper, just put it down, go like this, that's the glass. So it's all intact, or pieces are still there.
It's just kind of doing.
That's correct.
The
Okay.
quarter round sash is actually, it had fractured, so it started dipping downward. Yeah.
So
it's-
Okay.
it'll be-
You're talking about this particular rounded side. You're asking about this particular rounded side.
On the other side,
Uh-huh.
it appears to be broken.
I guess what you're asking, Dennis, are they gonna replace it with another piece of glass that,
Yeah, I mean, wherever repaired. Yeah.
I can repair glass.
yeah,
Like, if all the pieces are there, I can re-glue glass that you will never see the same.
okay.
And that's what you do with the old stuff.
So will you have scaffolding? You'll be up there a while.
It'll be up there a while. Something like this, you think, right?
Right.
So, the scaffolding, talking to the client, we went through different options. They were trying to rent out heavy machinery. So scaffolding is the safest, and it was okay with you guys. I was wondering, bigger cities, they put like, plywood around it, so the kids don't walk around trying to climb and stuff. That's okay with you guys.
Yeah, we don't deal with or have any say over that, for something temporary like that, but, the permits office could, Steve, who usually sits here, if he's not here tonight, could answer that for you, but I don't see a problem with that. So, you're talking like in New York where they put, because they have to do this kind of thing on their facades every
And the W-
10 years or something like that.
WM.
It's across the street, so. kids
Okay.
play around there all the time. So I'm trying to I don't wanna be off at 4 o'clock again, I hear a kid climbed up against the
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be fine with you doing something temporary to keep kids off the scaffolding. As a matter of fact, I prefer that, so, yeah.
And one of the biggest part of this meeting is actually, it was the step in us getting like an extension for our, inspection permit, tenant occupied inspection. And, to let the other counterpart know that it's gonna take a little bit. It's not something that can be easily done in 30 days or anything like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think everybody was aware it's gonna take a while. And, I guess if nobody's gonna speak up, I'll move to approve the application, move that we approve the application as presented. Basically in-kind repair and/or replacement as required.
Moved and seconded. Any comment or additional discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved. Thank you very much. Good luck with your project.
Hey, man, excited to see
Yep.
your work.
Yep, thank you.
Introduce myself. My name is Alfredo.
Okay,
Okay,
Great.
Alfredo.
Same thing will go for you guys. The third Tuesday, it'll go to council. And then once they sign off on the resolution and it's sent to Charlie, then she will, unhalt your, permit application, and you'll start getting, whoever emails those that put it on OpenGov, you'll start getting messages that it's moving along, and then it'll tell you when the permit is done.
Next case is 43 West King. At a handicap ramp that turns back on itself twice,
Is it what-
covering an area approximately 16 feet by 21 feet, overlapping existing porch, zigzagging down to the sidewalk level. The ramp will be concrete with continental bricks,
Yeah, once the permit is,
455 straight,
yeah, so you don't have to
range red brick on vertical walls.
do it until.
Handrails will be
Okay,
custom fabricated to match the style of the existing railing, meeting code requirements for ADA. The existing steps on the right side of the existing porch will be reworked to meet the new height of this alternate entrance to the building. This is another gem of a building.
It is spectacular.
So I think your application comments here are pretty all encompassing. I don't know if you've all had a chance to look at the renderings. Is there anything else you'd like to note about the process?
Not particularly. The renderings show flagstone for the treads, walking surface. We were gonna try and do concrete to save money. If you guys would prefer flagstone, there's flagstone on the existing porches right now. So we originally started that route and then started talking some preliminary numbers and decided if you guys would be willing to let us just slide with the concrete, which does have its benefits as well, as far as being a lot smoother to roll a wheelchair over,
With anything on
a
the,
walker getting snagged.
yeah, with anything on the porches in particular, it's hard to tell what's exactly is historic and not because so much has been
right,
from the building.
right. I think my only question would be with the selection of brick, did you have the brick company come out and look to match?
No, that's, I'm a mason by trade. That's one of the regular bricks that we would use. It's not historical by any
Right.
means. It's a modern molded brick, but color is very similar to what's on the building now. And the porch itself has had some work done previously with
Okay.
a more modern brick that's somewhat like this.
Usually I know that old common red brick, on almost direct match for it is, and there's other manufacturers that have similar, but they were made, if they're still even available, with local clays. I think they came out of Glengarry's Frederick plant, but I know all that's been sold, but, 52, 53, 54 double Ds.
Yep, 52 double Ds are the darker ones.
Yeah.
53s are a little lighter, yeah.
Yeah,
Personally, I've tried to get away from them lately because it's so difficult to work with Glengarry and get any response on
Okay.
brick availability. And last time I got Glengarry brick, I had to send a truck to New Jersey to pick them up because
they,
the nearest available matching brick for that project.
yeah, I understand, there's that kind of thing used to be readily available. So this, it's hard to tell from the printout, because the
Yeah.
ink, so this is very similar to your
It is- it is
52,
a-
okay.
Yeah, it is a sanded molded clay brick, just like the.
And it's that
52.
orangey reddish,
I can provide a hard sample if requested.
okay. The other issue is your mortar color, because the house has either a matching mortar or dark mortar.
So the piece of the house that we are putting the ramp in front of or aiming to has red mortar. The
Right.
original house has white.
Okay.
I was gonna go with the red because that's the piece that we're butting up against.
Yeah, I think it'll blend in better with the red mortar and it'll look more like the historic brick that way too. So, okay.
I've found that actually, like a dark brown tends to weather in a little better. The red mortar, modern mortar, comes out pink when we end up using it. and
Yeah.
It's not ideal, so, I mean, if it was gonna be noted, I would say definitely go with
Okay.
the brown, dark brown.
Yeah, okay.
Are you losing the, lamp post?
We're gonna aim to retain it. If we can get the actual ramp in and leave it there, I'd love to leave it there because it's original, according to.
Do we care about that?
Let me try to, do we have a picture of it? Oh, I see there, it's, yeah. No, because I guess it's probably 50 years old, so it's historic, but it's not really historic. It's, it's,
Was told by the owner that it used to be gas powered. I don't know if it's still, I mean, obviously
kind of a-
connected by now, but
I kind of think it's a colonial revival thing from the 60s, when everybody was doing neo-colonial crap because of the
Put it there when they
first capital myth. Yeah, I think that's probably exactly where, So yeah, I have a no love for, what's your thoughts on that?
As a kid in high school, I worked for Hadclode Glass.
Yeah,
We made these lamps.
okay,
In Littlestown.
in the 60s.
In the
Yeah, so it's a 1960s
Yeah.
colonial revival. So it's really not, in the Victorian era, that house, they wouldn't have had a gas lamp that looked, it had something that was different. So no, if you want to keep it, fine. If you don't, I don't have a love of it unless you do, Dennis. Yeah.
we'll do our best to keep it because the owners kind of like it.
Okay,
So
My feeling about the material on the ramp is that a textured concrete would be as good as
Yeah.
anything because you want to have some gripping surface for anybody
Yeah.
trying to motivate a wheelchair up the ramp.
Yeah.
And we've always looked at ramps for accessibility as something other, as long as there's an effort to not completely conflict with the structure that it's going in front of, we've pretty much said, go forward. So I don't have a problem with that. Does anybody else on the board?
no.
Not with the concrete, no.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the application as presented with the option of having concrete for the ramps? Or
Yeah.
are we preferring it?
I think option's a good word.
I think the option, yeah.
I just wanted to just double check before we finish this out. Mark, get your opinion on this too. Are we past the threshold for requiring handrails at a minimum on the stair? I feel like there needs to be at
Three
least.
steps
codes-
or more are required handrails, or is it more than 3 steps?
3 is what I
I feel like
remember.
we're at the line or slightly
Right.
over it.
I would imagine we're gonna include handrails with all of it. Just to meet ADA, we're gonna have to have them on
Yeah.
both sides of the
Colors,
ramp and both
railings,
sides of the
match.
stairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
When codes comes out to inspect that, they're probably gonna make him put handrail on there.
And if we said it and I missed it, I'm sorry, but is this iron?
The railing,
Yes.
I'm aiming to have it, recreated out of iron. And then
Not aluminum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Julius Plum kind of profile thing.
I'm not familiar with that, but sure.
Yeah, it's a metal company that provides all those profiles in any metal you want. So, okay.
Okay. There was a motion to approve as submitted and a second. Any other discussion? Blake didn't you?
I had the question, I didn't say.
Oh, you didn't second. I'm sorry.
Nobody's second yet.
It's an opportunity to second.
I'll second.
Staring me down.
Well, you haven't.
Blake talked
You
about
haven't,
it.
you haven't, moved or seconded anything yet, I don't think.
I'm just the alternate.
All
I
right.
have that title.
Yeah,
I know, Blake.
Yeah, but your
stop.
vote counts because there's not a full board.
When you're here, your
so-
vote does count.
I got next one.
All right. Moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved unanimously. Thank you. Good luck. And last but not least is 840 South George. Proposal to install new canopy, cover over the food pantry exterior ramp, and that's a word I'm not familiar with, a QQ?
It's the queue for the folks to line up for the
Not a
pantry.
QQ, it's a Q, right?
Correct. There will be one queue in the word queue, yes.
Yeah. 600 square feet metal canopy with concrete footings.
I'm Christopher Peters with Marana Main Architects and Kem Mont with the church, and also with Kinsley Construction is here with me tonight. Would you like me to go through?
Yeah, anything that you'd particularly like to call out to our attention, it's
Sure.
sort of your opportunity to highlight what you're doing, why you're doing it.
Yeah, so there is a ramp on that side of the building that goes, it's an exterior ramp that goes below parade to the ground floor where they give out food to the community. Currently, the people that are waiting in line to have the food or pick up the food are usually in the rain. It's a long line. So the metal that's there that you can see on the existing condition photo, it's a metal grate that's above it, so it's not actually protecting that ramp from water to get down under there. So we're proposing to remove that and to stick a simple aluminum canopy there that covers not only the ramp down to the ground floor or the basement, but also there's a separate piece that's over the sidewalk as well. So at times that line does get long, so even the ramp distance isn't long enough for the folks that are there. So we're proposing to line up the top of that canopy with roughly that cast band that's around the church on that side, trying to keep a pretty low profile to not take away from the church. This is on the northwest side in the back kind of parking lot area. You would obviously see it from the main road a little bit. But that's generally what we're trying to do there, leaving the grass strip that's between the ramp and the sidewalk there to collect some water as it's doing already.
Can you explain a little bit about the effect on egress in the building, moving this balcony and stairs down?
Yeah, so in that that second floor there, that larger opening, there's a music room in there. They're not used. There's double doors there actually that you can see in that larger opening. It doesn't get used as an egress, nor is it required. So nobody's exiting out of there. And then the one to the side, the single door to the left, is a small nursery. And again, that doesn't get used as an egress at all. So we're not affecting the means of egress necessary for this.
Neither one of those have exit signs or anything like that. They're not used as
Correct, yeah.
The occupant load of those rooms obviously isn't enough to require more than.
Right, the occupant load, because the music room is larger, but because there's musicians and stuff in there and casework and stuff, there's not, and that we have in the permit application, just to note that what we're proposing there.
Okay.
So.
There was something in here about an alternate for replacing or closing in those doors.
Yeah, as we were looking into that long-term, and as we were putting this together for pricing, I guess the two things is that's not insulated, and so we were talking about replacing that large door to the music room, and then also potentially removing the single door, bricking up to the sill, and putting a window in there that would match the window next to it. I think, and Cam, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would be part of an overall a window project, because the church is looking at replacing in kind a lot of the windows on that side and systematically around the building. So that might be something we would do separately after this canopy is built.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
that would be
that's a good
separate
question.
application. Right now, that's not included.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think it's, we don't really want to put in one window and replace the one overall opening and not do the rest of them. So
Right.
that would come as a separate full application at some point.
Okay.
So our church sponsors fresh food to this same food bank.
Oh, really?
Just around the corner, and I've been up and down the steps many times, but I was confused, and I guess I haven't been there in the last 2 years, so maybe they've moved the food bank. It used to be accessible right off the alley, which would be the west facade, but this looks like you're on the,
North.
We're on the north facade.
Yeah.
so it must have been moved then, and no longer accessible off that center door.
Correct. A number of years ago, I don't know what now, 5 years ago, we did a comprehensive renovation to the interior of the building and changed certain things, and that would have been one of the results there.
And then this is an aside, but just because we don't have a consultant, down the line, you do a larger window replacement project, composite clad wood, metal clad wood, simulated divided lights, grills between the glass. Those are the kind of things we'd be looking for.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, we'd basically look to replace in kind what's there with the same look, just get the insulated glass in there.
Yeah, you would, but if you do all of them at once, and then we can, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but those are the kind of manufacturer, Anderson 100 series, A series sometimes, and everybody else makes similar things out there, so.
The
Okay.
Marvin's got their
Yep, Marvin.
Elevate line or whatever
They
it
may
is.
cost you more, but they might last longer. Yep.
Right, right.
I make a motion to accept the application as presented. Are we noting the second floor door is, or that's not our problem? Trying to limit your writing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think I'd just add, because, the canopy's of contemporary design, but it's a north facade of the building, and it's pretty nondescript from the location of the design of it, so.
Okay, ready to take a second?
Yes, is there a second?
I'll take the second
Okay,
honorably, righteously.
There we go.
good. Okay. It's moved and seconded to approve the application as presented. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, thank you.
Thank you very
Good luck
much.
with your project.
Thank you.
So Nancy, do you want the stuff for 111, so you can just hand it out again for the next meeting? We don't have to.
Yeah, so don't throw me 111 away.
Would you want them back, and then you can take them and give them back to us? That way you don't have to.
I trust myself.
I separated them so that, I'm trying to save half a tree.
And I have 111, since it didn't show up. Does somebody want to adjourn so I can shut this thing?
Thank you, good evening, yes. We stand adjourned at